When you create courses or you present a workshop or you provide people with material that they can download, so maybe it's your lead magnet. So it's something that they could either forward on, download, or print out. I strongly recommend that you use the copyright symbol. That's the little C with a circle around it. And what that does, it tells people, puts them on notice that you own the copyright in that download. Now obviously you can't put that symbol on somebody else's material that you found. It has to be your own material that you've created and not copied from any other source. When you create your lead magnet, if you have a designer creating the lead magnet for you, you need to have an agreement with the designer that you own the copyright, and as part of what they do on the lead magnet, or it might just be a checklist or an infographic, get them to put the copyright symbol at the bottom. So it's the little C with a circle, the C with a circle, the C with a circle around it, and then you need to put the date that you created it. And if you've updated it, then you put a second date, which is the date of the most recent update. So this is my new book, What is Intellectual Property, that I wrote together with my husband and business partner. And in there's a copyright symbol, and if I use any of the flowcharts separately, I will put a copyright symbol just on that page. So you put the C in the circle, the date that you first created it, and then the most recent update. So it could be on that particular book, it would be the C in the circle 2015-2017, and then the name. So for that one, who owns the copyright? It's Mark and Cathryn Warburton. It could be your company name, Happy Baby Pty Limited. The first date is really important. The earliest date is really important, because if somebody else comes and claims that you've taken their material and your date is earlier than their date, then you win, because you couldn't have copied the material if their material is dated after yours. So if mine says 2005 and yours says 2015, there's no way I could have copied yours, because mine was earlier and yours was only 2015. And the most recent date, that's not so much a legal thing, that's just really if people want to show that the material has been updated, that it's not old or out of date. But you don't need to put the second date, you can just put the first date if you want. It's very important not to only put the most recent date. Sometimes when people update their material, they take off the old date and they put the new date on. That's actually doing yourself a disservice. So keep the older date. To keep your materials protected, it's also a good idea to keep a diary of what you created and when you created it. Keep old drafts of things, keep them in a folder somewhere, whether it's a computer folder or something, because later on, if there is a dispute as to who created that particular flowchart and when it was created, if you've got all of your records, then it's much easier for you to say, well, look, you say it's yours, but here's mine 2 years previously. Clearly, I didn't copy yours. So it just helps you avoid a dispute. And so where you put the copyright notice, normally I just put it on the footer. I use MS Word and I put it on the footer of what I've created. And then what I also do is I put an email address, a contact email address on. Now that's not a legal thing, it's not a legal requirement, but the reason I do that is because if somebody sees one of my flowcharts or checklists and they go, wow, this chick knows about intellectual property, let's get her to come and speak, or let's get her to register our trademark, then they can find me. They can easily know who I am and they can find me and they can use my my services. Whereas if it's just a blank piece of paper and it's got the checklist on it, they'll go, this is pretty good, but they don't know who owns it. Now that doesn't mean I don't own it, I still own it, but if that copyright notice is not there, people are much, much, much more likely to borrow it, use it, forward it, modify it, do all of the things they're not allowed to do with it. The copyright notice is very seldom that something's got a copyright notice on it that people actually misuse it. And if it's got a contact email address on, just makes it easy for them to be able to contact you. So my name is Cathryn Warburton, and I am the Legal Lioness.